And now, introducing the hottest new tag team in podcasting, George Feast, Johnny Clash, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast. My name is George Feast, and I, as always, am here with my tag team partner, independent wrestler Johnny Clash.
What's up?
Each week on this podcast, we break down the good, the bad, and the awesome of wrestling video games and offer up our rating of Play It Forever, woo, or Future Endeavor.
You're fired!
This week on the podcast, we are playing WCW Backstage Assault with a very, very special guest, the abominable CPA. What's going on?
What's on tap? I mean, sorry. Feel out of place. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, happy to have you here, man.
So, we have to clear the air before we start.
Oh, God.
How do you pronounce your 205 live name?
If I remember correctly, it's Tim Gange.
Tim Gange.
Okay.
So when Scott Armstrong explained it to me, I misunderstood him. I thought it was like something Cage.
Nick Cage.
Like Tim Cage. That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
And then when I actually looked at all the subsequent tweets and stuff, I was like, oh, Gange, what the fuck?
All right, well, now that that's clear.
Yeah.
George, I believe you had an intro. The 205 Live Superstar.
Oh, yes.
Tim Gange.
Well, you did it, so now I don't have to do it, so
Great.
we're good.
There we go. Hi, I'm here. I'm Nick.
And we're happy to have you.
All right, so little
I'm
quick
happy to be here.
follow-up.
I've been asking John about this for a while now.
Now, wait. Before you do what you're about to do,
Oh. It's time for a little segment that I like to call...
I already opened mine.
that's fine.
Also, Clash doesn't listen to the podcast. For those of you who have no idea what the fuck we're yelling about, I am on Pod Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Friend Pod.
Tag team
Yeah,
podcast?
we're like a splinter. You guys are like a splinter group of ours because George was on our show before this.
Yeah, he was asked. I was never asked.
Because I am the official graphic designer of Off the
Well,
Hop
that's
Rope.
because Troy cannot fit certain things into his Ryback goal board, which I've been saying for a year now, and no one ever laughs at it. I'm like, guys, Troy is fucking mental. He's talking about we're gonna do Mabel and fucking Jeff Jarrett in August 2021. I'm like, all right,
Okay.
sure, I'll probably be around for that.
But his
I'm here
like
for the long
goal
run.
board is just like a series of Post-its in a notebook. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen this goal board. It's horrifying.
Oh, my God.
That's why I make the joke about the Ryback goal boards at the behest of friend of the show Pat Buck. But hey, what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do? So, Georgie,
Hey.
we played Def Jam Vendetta last week.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I still am sticking with it. I
Me
love
too.
it. I still like it.
After,
I played it a couple times this week.
Did you guys make any house pockets this week?
I was a ton of
I wish that would solve a lot of
The
my
three of us,
my
the three of
life
us are
issues.
starting a new podcast where we review Hot Pockets, and it's going to be called House Pockets.
I was a pepperoni three
love
cheese
it.
guy.
Meatball.
Ham and cheese. You guys are crazy.
Okay, so I had a few listeners actually tell me that because of us, they went and bought the game and they never had it before.
Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah, so I'd love to know if you are out there, what your feedback is after playing it, after watching our Clash at the Feast video we put on YouTube, which was me as Dub C, which we now know is Dub C, not WC.
Thank you for that correction.
You were proof, and you spanked me as usual, and yeah, Def Jam Vendetta. I'm still playing it forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I never played it. It looked fun, but
We got to have you back
Now,
then.
yeah.
so
Follow up us. Right, put on your goal board. 2024. I'll come back.
well, no, not
you
even
guys
that.
run out of all games.
We have a 6-hour live stream coming up at some point.
We do.
So
You're doing like that sick kid save point thing or whatever.
Pretty much.
That's
yeah,
really cool.
so if you want to come, drop in for a little bit.
Is it like a live stream thing?
Yeah, we're gonna be on Twitch or YouTube or some sort of live
All right,
platform.
well, we're gonna do that.
As long as you're not in like Saskatchewan that weekend, we'd
You
love
have to bring
you.
Taco Bell.
No, it's
That's
Indiana.
The only,
Indiana
Yeah.
is the only place I wrestle. According
Okay.
to Troy and Mark.
you have to bring Taco Bell and beer. That's our only requirement.
All right, I'll call Ben.
We'll bill you from Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got to play Warzone then.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play a bunch of stuff, but offers there. If you're available, you're around, you want to come drop by, I'd love to have you.
I'll squeeze you into my calendar.
But really quick, we have Nick CPA on the show.
Hi.
I would very much like you to take us through this fine beverage that we're drinking right now from New Belgium.
All right. I didn't ask Troy about it, so I don't know if I have permission to talk about beers, but
It's fine. Troy's not on this podcast.
Big oak notes. I don't know what the fuck.
Grapefruit? I feel like you get grapefruit.
I get grapefruit with everything because I've had like 23 concussions and my taste buds are shot.
That's the number one symptom of concussion. Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yep. Okay.
So it's a 7.7.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
It's great.
Pretty
So
good.
we're drinking New Belgium Hop Avenger IPA.
Mm-hmm. Sharp-eyed George Feast would have noticed that literally the first thing I turned to was to see what the ABV was.
Oh yeah, cool. Because you drink beer like I drink beer,
Yeah.
where the more ABV it has, typically the more flavor it has, and I'm all about flavor.
Literally,
You just want to get fucked up.
Yeah, like every time I've wrestled at a brewery or just been at a brewery where I buy stuff for the podcast, that eventually gets used 7 months later because Troy can't figure it.
And then they yell at you because it's past the expiration date.
Oh, it's skunky. I'm like, because you fucking...
There's sediments,
It's
CPA.
6 months. Yeah, I just like, we did the Dead Man's Curve that I got from Goldhorn in Cleveland, which was great, by the way. Probably could have done it a month earlier.
And you recently pounded a Goose Island. Like a couple of weeks ago. Didn't you just open
He doesn't know.
one of the Goose
grapefruits,
Islands
the
in Mark's
concussions.
fridge? He had one in his like crisper that he was saving from like a year ago, and it was like your pre-show.
No, that was a while ago, actually. That was a Dogfish Head.
Oh, that's what it was.
20%.
Worldwide Stout.
But here's the problem, because Mark was looking at his phone and probably talking about important things with the Major Figure Pod boys. I said, "Hey, Mark, you mind if I take this Dogfish Head?" And he goes, and I'm like,
Pointed to his
"All right."
head. Yeah.
And I grab it and I open it, I sit down, I was like, "Ooh, this is a little spicy."
A little zesty.
He goes, "This is 20%." And I'm like, "What?" No.
I love your smart Mark impression. It is.
He fucking calls Troy. He's like, "Troy, he just took a 20%." So yeah.
Oh
There's a
man.
Dogfish Head. I forgot what it's called.
Worldwide Stout.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good thing I live 7 minutes away from Mark, because otherwise that would have been a DUI. Anyway,
Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you enjoy this podcast. And George, as of today, it is now. I didn't go to work yesterday, so I don't know what day it is. It is now Wednesday.
it's a day.
I also took a Rough Rider from Zack Ryder last night, so my head's a little wonky. It is Wednesday. We were actually enemies last night. Sidetrack. Gameboree 2019 is coming to an end this Sunday.
As you listen to this podcast, it has ended.
And as we record, we just hit $700.
Wow.
Hopefully, by the time that this actually drops, we hit our goal of $5,000. But I'll settle for $1,000. $1,000 would be nice.
Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. When we started this, I was going to be happy to get $100. So the fact that we have far surpassed that and are now in the $700 range, I am over the moon.
Not only that, but we brought 2 big boxes of games and goodies to Cohen's Children's Medical Center.
Yeah, this was a dual-fronted, a national hospital and a local hospital in New York. This was probably the coolest and biggest endeavor that I've done in terms of charity in my entire life.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not going to bore you with the details and what you win and all that. We're going to put out a separate episode for all of that once we draw the names and what everyone...
Bore me with details.
No, we don't have them yet, Nick.
At this point in the podcast,
I'm
Johnny
overstimulated.
Clash is going to cut in from the future with all of the details.
Hello, Past John.
If you couldn't tell, I'm 2 White Claws in, and now I'm drinking this Hop Avenger, and yeah.
We really off the hop rope this. But so when John and I
bad
usually
influence,
record this,
is really
we
what it
really
is.
don't drink. But Nick's here. Nick has a beer and wrestling podcast.
Nick is a degenerate. So
I-
brought some beer.
I have had the pleasure of being on Nick's podcast before, so I know how it works. where you have some warm-up pregame beers, and then you have the beers during the episode. So figured, we're all together, might as well just keep that train going.
So the episode George was on.
Oh boy.
I was, if memory serves correct, I was going on probably 40 hours straight, no sleep.
And a bag of frozen green beans.
And a bag of frozen green
those are key.
I had a show in Indiana the night before. I drove straight through the night and went to work, and then went to Mark's house and drank beer and watched, Authors of Pain.
DIY.
Yes.
And Revival.
By the time I left, I got in my car, I got to the end of Mark's block, and there were 3 stop signs.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
All right. We're gonna not put that in.
Why? That's a great story. Just cut out the end part.
Just leave it. Nobody has a high opinion of it.
All right. Speaking of that, I just noticed that you just followed Game Marks Pod on Instagram.
I've never seen your Instagram. I apologize.
Funny story. It was like a month into the podcast, and George just liked the Facebook page. So the Facebook page that he does work for.
I am the Facebook page. Like we have the admin
But you
control
never liked it.
because I liked it as the page. I didn't even know you could do that.
You know what? To be completely truthful, I didn't like the Off the Hop Rope Instagram page until probably like 3-4 months in, because I was just like, oh, that's my page.
I thought you were gonna say like 3-4 weeks ago.
No, about that page.
All right. From there, I think it is time for us to get into the question of the week.
And the question of the week is sponsored by Galvanized Grips.
Galvanized Grips sells customized controller grips, skins, and other cool items to enhance your gaming experience. Their grips fit on PS4 and Xbox One controllers and come in a variety of different colors and patterns to match your gaming style. Check out their shop at galvanizedgrips.com and use code GameMarks at checkout to receive 10% off. That's galvanizedgrips.com and use code GAMEMARKS to save 10% on checkout. This week, it is Johnny's turn to ask the question, and being that we have a very special guest, CPA will be answering the question as well.
Oh, no.
So, you two fellas. Growing up.
I'm not a fella, so.
Sorry, it's 2019.
Fella.
Growing up, there was always something around the holidays, whether it was a game or a console, maybe a figure that you just wanted. You needed this. You would die for this. What was it? That's all I want to know.
Does it have to be something that we eventually got?
No.
Because there's something that
No.
I wanted when I was a kid, and I actually was just watching the Toys That Made Us, and they showed this figure, and I completely forgot about it because it was like in some weird repressed childhood memory of mine.
No.
But
tell.
during the heyday of like Power Rangers in the 90s, you had your Megazord, you had your Dragon Zord, and then you had Titanus, which was that big turtle thing.
The long neck.
Yeah, it was like a brontosaurus turtle, and everything fit.
Don't tell George, but I had it.
And I just gave Johnny the Bird. It's an audio podcast. Very topical.
I still had Titanus.
So, I never had it. I always wanted it. And after watching the Toys That Made Us, I went on eBay to see what it was worth. And I will not be owning that still as an adult in my 30s.
Mine's destroyed, but funny story, I had that and I had the movie Zords.
Ooh.
So they didn't work. They didn't work together.
Where it was like the flowing, like the Red
Like
Power Ranger had like the Dragon that was like its own standalone guy.
It was the... Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. With like
Yes.
Ivan Ooze and all that.
Yeah. But
it's like the ninja version.
the frog, that was Zach.
Yeah.
No, Adam.
Yeah.
The legs broke, so it was only on like the mini frog legs, and it was
So
like
you didn't
hilarious.
Have the full chest piece. Or no, you only.
No,
had
he was the
chest piece.
legs.
Oh, he was the legs.
For that version when they changed all their stuff up. And instead of like the long legs, he was like these 2 little frog legs.
It's like mini mode.
But it didn't work with Titanus. No, sorry. Nick, you're up.
So it's not really one that I would die for necessarily. It just stands out in my mind, and I still don't own it to this day, and I probably never will.
Die for this?
SmackDown, yeah. SmackDown 4, great fucking game. What was it?
Here Comes the Pain.
No.
Just Bring It.
The one before that. Just Bring It. Here Comes the Pain came out, and my dad said, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" I said,
Hey.
He probably said, he might not have said it like that.
With the hand, the Italian
I
hand.
might
And
be
everything.
paraphrasing. My dad is not Italian at all. He said, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" I said, "Let me get that SmackDown game. It's called Here Comes the Pain." Say no more, fam. Got it. Christmas comes, and I see it, and it's there, and it's shaped like the PS2 game, and I'm like, all right, Dad followed through, and I open it up. Backyard wrestling.
Oh my god, that's like going from extremely high to extremely low.
And I said, and I didn't complain about it. My dad came over, he said, "Oh, that's the one you wanted." And I was like, "Nah, but I'll give it a shot." I wasn't like a dickhead.
No, I mean,
you
it's
know?
a wrestling game. Well, who cares?
Yeah, whatever. I couldn't get past the first level ever. Because, okay, so spoiler alert, Backstage Assault.
Oh.
There seems to be heat-seeking moves. Like,
More specifically, the missile drop kick.
It was a literal missile.
so, first level of Backyard Wrestling, which I never beat, by the way, just a reminder. There's a basketball that's a weapon, and if the guy throws it at you, it follows you until it hits you.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
So after like 20 attempts, I was like, yep. And I gave it to my friend, and that was it.
I don't think I was
just
looking
gave up.
forward to that game, but I think you just
I think
sold me
now
on
we
it,
are.
CPA.
Yeah. It wasn't even the one with New Jack in it either. So, I mean.
To give mine,
Yeah.
I wanted the original Xbox so bad. Like, you have no idea how bad I wanted
loaf of
this.
bread controller.
My cousin had it. He had the original Xbox. He had Halo. I thought Halo was the coolest game ever. He let me run through the story mode, so I was all about it. And I begged, and it was like number 1 on my Christmas list. It was all I wanted. I built a Lego Xbox, and I left it under the tree that year. I was probably like 12. Like, I knew Santa wasn't there, but it was just like a signal to my parents, like,
Planting seeds.
get me this. Get me this.
Do you want me to absolutely destroy and ruin you right now? You made the decision to not buy anything on Black Friday. PC related.
Yes.
Do you know what released last week on Steam?
Halo.
Every Halo game ever.
That's fine. I still have the first one. Don't worry.
I
have the remaster for 360.
Oh, the road.
Don't worry. I have the remaster for 360. But okay. So Christmas morning, you know what was not there?
A Lego Xbox?
No.
They wrapped
threw it
your
out?
Lego.
What
Oh my
the
god!
fuck?
Tell me they wrapped your Lego Xbox.
No, the
and
Lego
gave it to you.
Xbox was the Lego Xbox was there, but a real Xbox was not.
I was going to say if they threw it out, that would be pretty messed
No,
up.
but I
Oh, we got your Legos.
They got the empty Xbox box and they just put your Lego Xbox in there.
here. It's supposed to work. You're an engineer or something. No, I didn't get it. But
You're smart. You know technology.
I ended up buying it with like grandma's Christmas money, so it was good. I got it anyway.
Your grandma. I feel like on this podcast you have brought up how many video games your grandma got you.
Friend of the show, Grandma.
Grandma got me WrestleMania, the arcade game, and In Your House because they were available at Odd Job, the like discount store. That's the only reason she got me them.
The first time that anyone's talked about odd jobs in like 15 years.
On a podcast ever.
All right, George, what do you say we get into the deep dive this week of WCW Backstage Assault?
All right, but
Dub C Dub. Dub C Dub.
before we get into that, the deep dive is sponsored by Creative Pro Wrestling.
This Friday, December 20th, Creative Pro Wrestling returns to Hicksville, New York for Santa's Sleigh, featuring the Cap Champion VSK, the Cap TV Champion Chris Statlander, Bear Country, Alex Reynolds, me, and the rest of Spite, and of course...
Hey, CPA.
All of this and so much more, so don't miss out. Tickets are flying fast, so head over to creativeprowrestling.com and get yours today.
So Santa Slay, are you guys wrestling each other at Santa Slay? Like, what's happening?
Well,
No, I'm wrestling the Shook Crew.
I remember my match, and you're not in it unless you want to.
we were enemies last night at the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Toy Drive, though.
Which is, when you're listening to this, a week and a night ago.
But as of recording, it was last night, and I'm still feeling the effects of Hornswoggle's ass diving onto my face.
You took one too many broski boots. It's all right.
One is enough.
One too many drop kicks.
Okay.
How's your drop kick, Nick?
Hell of a drop kick.
He's basically Maven at this point. He's basically Mark Jindrak.
I literally every match I've been in since that television, that hot TV run I had, I'm basically forced to do some sort of drop kick.
All right. WCW Backstage Assault was the final WCW game released as WWF purchased the company 3 months later.
That's sad.
Cold-blooded.
Backstage Assault features commentary by Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I mean, iconic.
No
Classic.
Larry Zbyszko though.
It's classic though. That's like, those are the voices that you expect to hear.
Yeah.
So this game is distinguished by the fact that all the gameplay takes place outside of a standard wrestling ring, which you know as soon as you pick up the game, because it's like you can fight in a locker room, in a loading bay, in a bathroom, in a media room.
Not a wrestling ring.
I gotta
literally-
say though, by playing it a bunch of times, I was like, I need a ring. I can't keep hitting you with the sink.
Yeah, it does get kind of
Like I'm running
boring.
to
I
hit
miss
the ropes
ropes.
and there's no ropes.
I miss ropes.
Yeah. We take ropes for granted.
As unrealistic as they are.
Is that a f***ing rope?
No, a rope is a weapon. You can actually whip your opponent with a ring rope. But it's elevator cable, not actual rope. So this game...
Rambo. Sorry, favorite movie.
I haven't watched it in a while.
So this game was developed by Kodiak Interactive and published by Electronic Arts. It was released for the PlayStation on October 31st in the year 2000.
Happy Halloween!
Hey.
And December 12th, 2000 for the Nintendo 64.
Happy December 12th!
Do you think any kids threw this at their neighbors' houses instead of eggs? They're like, we know this game sucks.
They just threw it.
They played it for like 5 minutes. Like, what is this? No.
Tweet at CPA Wrestles and let him know what games you threw at neighbors' houses. If you, in lieu of TPing someone's house, you video game cartridge their house.
It was this or backyard wrestling. I mean,
Send us your horrible destroyed cartridge images and let us know how you broke them. So I want you to tilt your screen slightly so that CPA can see the wonderful artwork for this
I
game.
had it. I know what it looks like. It's great.
Nick, walk us through it. What do we got going on here?
It appears that Bill Gold on the cover, big cool font, Backstage Assault.
Get big fonts on this game.
The not the substandard WCW logo of the later days. I like it.
The
but
vagina.
It's not as cool.
as Tony Schiavone says, the exploding vagina.
Oh, vagina.
Yeah.
Chat me up.
Cameo.
And it's Goldberg giving, I think, Hugh Morris.
Sting.
That's not Sting.
That's
That is
not
Sting.
Sting. Do you see the size of that back? There's no way that that's
not
Sting.
Oh no, there's blonde hair. You're right.
That looks
So that's not Hugh
that
Morris.
looks
either.
more like
That might be.
There's a
It
tattoo.
might be Kenny Chaos.
There's a tattoo.
that
It
looks
might be
like
Kenny
it's
Chaos.
more Bull James than it does Sting.
Yeah, but Bull James was like 3 when this
6
came
years
out.
old here.
It wasn't Van Hammer because Van Hammer would have been MIA by this point.
And
Like,
that's not what he wore.
Misfits
He didn't
in
do
Action,
singlet.
yeah.
He had the crazy like
he was was it Colonel Stash because he didn't want to be Private Stash?
I just drip beard down my beard.
Because I
All right, wait. I gotta say something really random that I noticed today. So I haven't.
it's my favorite episode of this podcast ever. I just want you to know that.
I haven't.
a seasoned podcast guy here.
I haven't trimmed my beard in a while. As you can tell, it's over my lip right now.
Okay.
My dad had a mustache forever. Like only a few years ago, he
But,
got
like,
rid of the mustache.
Was it like State Trooper mustache?
No,
Or
no, no.
like
Just a
full
regular
on-
old mustache, like an old man mustache.
Okay.
And he used to like take a sip of a drink and then be like, like it would be all over. And today I took a sip. Even just now, I was like,
That's the thing.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm my dad.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
It's the worst.
Little
When you're like,
sidetrack.
oh God.
Anyway,
I've come
on the
full circle.
cover-
I've become my dad.
On the cover, we have Bill Goldberg giving, I think, Kenny Chaos kind of a judo throw-ish thing.
Or is it mid jackhammer?
Yeah, that might be it too, actually.
I don't know.
I always thought it was a judo
It could be judo throw.
It's probably a jackhammer.
Either way,
It's a weird angle.
it
so
looks
maybe,
rough on its neck.
Yes, exactly. That's why I thought it was a judo throw. And on the back, it says, big cool font, no holds barred brawling. And then a bunch of fine print that just a bunch of other stuff. 14,
Fine print takes
over
you through the
14
features of the
playable
game.
characters. Yeah. And then under the cover, it says, talk about game intro.
so the game intro. All right.
Non-existent on the N64.
Yeah, non-existent. That was really weird. We waited for it. It just like loaded right in.
And then just goes right into the demo mode.
Yes.
And
Side note. Okay, so side note. We went to the video game trading post in the Sunrise Mall in Massapequa, New
that's a
York,
dangerous
this
place.
weekend. We bought a few games. I bought Mayhem. I bought this. And then I bought a bunch of Sega games because I have the plug and play, and why not buy some Sega games?
Yeah.
NHL 94, Royal Rumble, all that. So I bought this as well, so we could play it on the pod. And
a CPA rifles for another beer in the background.
that's fine.
Sorry, I'm a degenerate.
You got two.
What a weird combination you got there.
It's a Bud Light
It's
Lime.
literally the first,
And he
first
just
two things I grabbed.
he did just make a
Anyway.
line.
On the game intro, so Mayhem, we saw that cool Goldberg thing where he's like busts out, like they create him,
Yeah.
they bust out, and then like shows him in the ring, like it's like a cutscene that cuts through,
I was
but
expecting something cool, like
it's just wrestle, like Lance Storm, Lodi. It's just like a regular old video package.
but
Like
it's like big Lance Storm and then really tiny like fire from the Nitro Girls in the
Yeah.
corner.
Oh, I'm talking about like the actual intro though.
Oh, I was talking about like the loading
just a
screens because
video-
it's like here's the title screen, then
Yeah.
it's a loading screen, then it's the demo mode.
It's just a regular like music video with wrestling. It was similar to like Nitro and Thunder, which we know how those games end up.
We're
great.
posting it on social media, right?
We posted it, last week.
Yeah.
So what about this roster?
What about this roster?
You know
This-
what? I'll be honest with you. We have CPA here. He is a WCW guy. I kind of want him to take us through the roster. You cool with that?
I'm cool.
Take us through this roster, and I'll take us through the unlockable
Cool
roster.
as a cucumber. So on this roster we have Asia, Bam Bam Bigelow, who the last episode of Off the Hop Rope we do the Bam Bam beer. Big Vito, Bill Goldberg, Booker T, Corporal Cajun, otherwise known as Lash LaRue, Custom One, Custom whatever, David Flair. What a Southern Thunder. What is that?
It's our new tag team.
Yeah. Hey, Sin Cara, you can go as Southern Thunder now in the Indies.
Oh my god.
David Flair, Diamond Dallas Page, Disco Inferno, Glenn Gilberty, Doug Dillinger, Hulk Hogan, Jeff Jarrett, Jimmy Hart, Kevin Nash, Conan, Major Guns, who I chose in the exhibition round, Mona, otherwise known as Molly Holly, Ric Flair, Scott Steiner, Sergeant, what was his name? He trained Goldberg. He was at the Hall of Fame this year. Buddy Lee Parker, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, Sergeant AWOL, otherwise known as The Wall, R.I.P., Sid Vicious, Stevie Ray, Sting, and Clash's pick, Tori Wilson.
All right, so let's get into the unlockable roster, and most of these you have to beat them in a match to unlock. So to unlock the members of 3 Count, you must hit your opponent over the head with a TV in the media center. So it's like we're playing Clue now.
Yeah.
To unlock Vince Russo as a playable character, you must knock out your opponent in the media center using the briefcase.
The briefcase,
Friend of
bro.
the show, Vince Russo.
To unlock Eric Bischoff, just win the WCW Hardcore belt playing
As Vince
as Vince Russo. To unlock Kimberly, just win the Hardcore belt with Diamond Dallas Page.
So by this logic, Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff is Vince Russo's wife.
Precisely.
Precisely.
To unlock Medusa, you must hit your opponent over the head with the sink in the woman's bathroom. To unlock Miss Hancock, give the wrestler a nasty hip swivel taunt. Okay. Use it in hardcore challenge mode to unlock her. To unlock Norman Smiley, give a wrestler the big wiggle taunt in hardcore challenge mode. So, you could unlock Billy Kidman, Brian Adams, Brian Clark, Bret Hart, Buff Bagwell, friend of the show, Chris Candido, Chris Canyon, Daphne Unger, oh yeah, Crowbar, Don Harris, Eric Bischoff, Evan Courageous, Hugh Morris, Johnny Stamboli, Kimberly, Lance Storm, La Parka, Lex Luger, Lieutenant Loco,
Hot Tag, Medusa, Mike Awesome. I got clashes pattern out there. Mike Awesome, Miss Elizabeth, Miss Hancock, Norman Smiley, Rey Mysterio Jr., Ron Harris, Scott Hall, Shane Douglas, Shane Helms, Other Known as the Hurricane, Shannon Moore, Tank Abbott, Vampiro, and bro, Vince Russo.
My favorite episode of this podcast ever.
It wasn't that bad. I was going. Lieutenant Loco, I was going to say, that's Chavo Guerrero. Okay, so I had a gripe in Mayhem with Rey Mysterio not having a mask or not being unlocked with a mask. Yeah. He still doesn't have a mask, and he has blonde hair in this game.
He did have blonde hair for a while.
He dyed it for a little bit.
But that's so stupid. Make him unlock. If you're going to unlock Rey Mysterio, unlock the masked Rey Mysterio that everyone loves.
But that's not what was in wrestling.
I don't care.
Most of these unlockables are kind of inexplicable, though, because like if you scroll up, which I don't know how to do.
It's a Mac. It's a Mac.
2 fingers.
Like, Bret Hart is an unlockable. Billy Kidman was feuding with
Tori Wilson,
Hulk Hogan when this came out. Buff Bagwell was a top, like, borderline top guy there. Like, most of these unlockables are pretty much inexplicable for the most part. Lance Storm held 75% of the fucking titles in the company at the time.
No, but you know what the weird... All right, I'm going to point something out that's kind of like, I guess, mind-blowing in a bit. It said this game came out, and then 3 months later, WWF bought WCW.
Yeah.
Like, none of these wrestlers made it to WWF.
No, wait. No. Booker T's in this game.
I didn't say all of them. I said, like, a bunch.
Most of them were there at some point, but they didn't spend any significant time there.
But it's really crazy.
Wait, this is a large roster.
I was just going to say,
Sean O'Haire and Mark Jindrak aren't in this at all.
No, not at all.
That's crazy, because they were, like, pretty much the next like top guys there.
Sean O'Haire was the man.
He was. I liked his arm tattoos. His little flames.
He had and it was like a solid Shanton bomb.
Yeah, but
it was good.
George is off the podcast.
What are you talking about? He had a good.
If a 6'5" guy can do it, why do we need guys my size? Just saying.
And that devil's advocate gimmick that he had.
That was cool.
That was great.
So, the game modes. The primary gameplay mode is called Hardcore Challenge. It consists of winning matches against random opponents until challenged by the champion. Throughout the game, players can unlock wrestlers, arenas, and moves for use and create a superstar. The player cannot defend the championship after earning it, which is kind of weird. Kind of very, as we say on this pod, that's so WCW.
Yeah, that's...
George, why don't you take us through the arenas that you could play in?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of these, or pretty much all but one, you can only get by playing through the Hardcore Challenge. So you have the truck arena, the loading dock, the storage bay, the boiler room, the locker room, the parking lot, the media room, which is where you get Vince Russo, in case...
And pretty much everyone else.
We didn't touch on that yet.
Just do the big wiggle.
Very important. Bro. The exercise room and the bathrooms, both men and women's.
Okay, and you could go WCW Hardcore Championship, which is the easy mode, United States Championship, medium, and WCW World Heavyweight Championship,
which is a nice
hard
throwback to Mayhem, where the difficulty was the same. Wait, did they do that in Super Brawl 2, where the titles were the difficulty?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so WCW.
Okay, so you could do an exhibition, which you were given the freedom to choose where you fight, who you fight, and the rules. So some of the options are First Blood, Human Torch, which is the first to set their opponent on fire, or you could do pin or submission.
Now, you and CPA did a Human Torch match. Give us a very abridged version of what that experience was like.
I don't want to exaggerate. This match went on at least 6 hours.
It was a 6-hour live stream.
It was pretty long.
So we were having George Google behind us how to actually win the Human Torch match.
Oh my God.
Which apparently you take the 2x4, light it on fire, and then hit the guy with it.
This really was the dance.
So I actually took the 2x4, lit it on fire, but then I dropped it and it was not on fire. And then the 2x4 got destroyed and went away. We no longer had the 2x4. All the weapons were gone. They didn't
Testing out
regenerate.
all the other weapons.
And it finally took me just whipping him into the barrel that was flaming for his face to catch fire.
This was painful to watch, and just hearing you explain all the things that you had to go through, it was painful again.
But then just on the screen, when you are eventually on fire and yelp, it just says, torched.
Human Torch.
Okay, so Hardcore Gauntlet, described in the game as only for experts. The Hardcore Gauntlet is more advanced survival mode, so you face 7 opponents in succession with little time for breathers, meaning your stamina does not replenish and you don't get a retry. So if you lose, you have to try again. So SmackDown kind of adapted this later with Slobber Knocker.
Yep.
You guys also did a First Blood match.
We did.
I would love you to explain the finish of this match.
Please explain the finish.
So-
this is right up my alley.
This might have been the
This
dance.
is such a 1999 finish to a First Blood match.
I feel like if I was a wrestler, this was the kind of match that I would have. Like, this would be my gimmick for this finish. Like, that is...
Oh, where you get shrunk, someone puts you in a dryer and you lose on accident.
just me running into something and being like, oh, yeah, he made himself bleed, so...
Naturally.
CPA wins.
Do you want to explain this? Do you want to?
I mean, we'll lead into this with talking about the cheat codes. So there are a few cheat codes that you can put in. There is a hidden grunt sound cheat code. There is a indestructible weapons. Also indestructible women. Indestructible weapons, infinite stamina, big women wrestler, which pretty much just makes them
Jacked.
big women
Just
on
jacked.
this game. Big women on this game.
Yeah, just traps.
And
Traps out
low
the
gravity.
wazoo.
Low gravity was the final one. So
we didn't try that one yet.
No, we put in tiny wrestlers, which it's tiny. And you pretty much just run around and you really like the Flash. Like, it's insanely quick when you run. And
But the grapples and everything are still like your normal size.
yeah, everything else is normal speed, except when you run, you will jump 6 to 12 feet.
Picture a spider cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
That is literally the most accurate interpretation of that match that you could have done.
Yeah,
I just want to know about the finish.
So me and Nick had a very competitive match. It was very strong.
If you thought the Fiend and Seth Rollins had a weird finish this year, wait until you hear about this one, folks.
And
wait until you hear about this one, Dave Meltzer.
hit CPA in the head with a I believe it was a sink.
Yep.
And then I went
No,
to go.
no, it wasn't sync. We were only in the
Oh, I hit you in the trash can.
trash can
with the plastic trash bin.
big trash can.
And then went, hey, let me go pick up the giant metal trash can. Got a little too overzealous with my running, ran into the trash can, and apparently busted myself wide open, and that was the finish of the match. A self-inflicted blood finish, and that would be my finish as
You
a wrestler.
bladed, bro. You gigged. You gigged.
If I was a wrestler, I would only do first blood matches, and I would self-blade and just end every match.
If there was one moment in my life that I could replay and share with everyone else, it was that moment.
I literally said as soon as I was like, "Is there instant replay on this game?"
Or on
we
live.
need to record that.
Like that Black Mirror episode where you could rewind anything.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
we need to
the
rewatch
weirdest
that.
contacts.
I wish, like No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 had like replays at the end.
Yeah,
I wish. Oh my pearls! I would give up. I would give up my shoes right now to get that replay. I have other shoes in my car, but yeah, no.
And we immediately just like stopped, put down our controllers, and just hysterical laughter
Gotta go.
live at Creative Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
So the unlockables, as we mentioned, extra attribute points by winning the U.S. title as Jeff Jarrett and the WCW title as any wrestler.
Win the WCW Hardcore title playing as Booker T for Booker T's secret costumes.
To unlock the classic red and yellow Hulk Hogan costume, just win the Hardcore belt playing as him.
Oh, you were so close.
You were so
Wait.
close.
Another callback. Meng isn't in this game either, or Hawk.
No.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Because he was still there, like when this came out.
Wasn't there a debate on how you guys say his name?
Ming?
Meng?
Meng?
I say Meng.
M-E-N-G.
I'm more like
Meng.
Meng.
Yeah,
Meng.
Meng.
It's Who says Ming?
Ming?
Didn't you guys have this debate on Off the Hop Rope?
We did.
It's probably Troy.
I brought it up.
It was probably Troy.
No,
I don't know.
I brought it up because I would hear when I would listen to like podcasts on Bash at the Beach 95 specifically when one of the
Sláinte.
Yeah, it was Ming versus Sting. So I was like yeah. I say Ming. I'm more of a Ming.
Yeah, I say Ming.
Yeah.
Anyway, win the Hardcore belt playing as Jeff Jarrett. For Jeff Jarrett's NWO outfit, you could play... you could win the Hardcore belt...
Do you want me to go through these?
Nope, I got it. You could...
Tag?
You can get Scott Steiner's secret costume by playing as him and winning the Hardcore belt. You could unlock Surfer Sting just by winning the Hardcore Challenge mode with him.
I could hear the excitement in your voice when you read that.
Don and Ron Harry, we're just going to skip them.
They were reformed.
And I mean, just to unlock the arenas, you just have to beat someone in them in the Hardcore Challenge mode.
I did that a little
Just Nick playing through Hardcore Challenge, we unlocked like 4 or 5 arenas.
This episode was very quickly about to be going on at like 3 a.m. because I was just like, all right, I'm going to beat everything. Thankfully, I had 2 responsible adults here to stop me.
Well, I made a joke.
Where are they?
I made a joke that...
There's a picture of Arn Anderson on the wall. He's a responsible adult. Right?
Listen, if there's
He's
an
pointing at
authority
us.
figure, if there's one person that could be an authority picture in an 8x10, it is Arn Anderson.
Yes.
He's staring at us right now.
He's
Hey, so
telling
is
me-
Meng.
So, you know what? I got to tell you, this is a very heavy... I
Beer?
feel like... No. I
Oh.
mean, yes, it is a very
Yes.
heavy beer.
I have to pee.
Wait. Elevator music break?
No.
No,
No, because you say bad things.
No, go pee.
All right, I'll go pee.
So we're gonna have a little CPA and George Feast one-on-one here.
Ooh. I'll move closer to the mic.
Oh yeah.
I get to hear my nasally voice up close. Oh.
Let's talk about this beer for a little bit.
I have moved on to White
You've
Claw
moved on
because
to
I
White
drank
Claws,
both
but-
of mine.
From what you remember of Hop Avenger,
It's really good. I like. I don't know what the IBUs are on it, but it wasn't really super bitter going down.
No, it was nice. It was smooth and easy.
Let me Google the IBUs real quick while I spit out the next few lines and try to pretend that I'm not looking up something. No, it was really good. Like really smooth. I bet you the IBUs are probably outrageous, and Troy's gonna yell at me.
You know what? I wouldn't
But
be surprised.
Troy doesn't know what he's talking about half the time anyway.
It's
That's
not like he
fine.
worked at a brewery.
Yeah, but then thankfully, Big Scott always got my back. It says Troy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh,
So
you know,
it's great.
you know who wants to come on this podcast, and I can't wait. I don't know how we're gonna work it out logistically.
Who?
Smash Master.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
No, not actual Smash.
That would be really funny though.
Here
All right,
comes the yaks.
He wants to be on this podcast for what game?
I just think that he has games that he played when he was a kid, and
45. All right, 45 IBUs. I don't know if that's high or low.
I mean you've done beers that were in the hundreds before.
I'm back.
Troy just says things.
So
and I'm just like, oh, great.
I'm pretty sure that the lower it is, the less bitter it is.
No, I know, but
But you've done
I don't
beers.
know what high is. I don't know.
I mean, you guys, I listen to every episode of your podcast, so
Me too. Troy doesn't. But
I mean, neither does Clash, but
yeah, well,
you guys have definitely done beers that were high in the 80s, 90s, and 100s.
that's the thing. So I'm gonna go pee real quick. I don't know what. I don't know what a high IBU is.
I didn't flush, so you could just let it mellow.
So we were talking about Smash Master and how Smash Master said that he wanted to come on the podcast, but logistically, I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't remember what game he said that he wanted to play.
Oh, he's friends with Troy?
Yeah, which
Yep.
is why I want him on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
No, I want him on the podcast.
He's friends with Troy.
I want to literally have everybody on this podcast except Troy.
Oh, okay, I'm in. Hey, Smashmaster, we'll fly you out. On my laptop.
God.
On my laptop.
I haven't touched this.
It's alright, it was on
Give
the
me
solid
that
part.
sip.
Okay.
Give me that sip.
What are you drinking?
This is
What is that, like a 5.2?
Anheuser-Busch out of somewhere in America.
What's it coming
this is,
in?
Bud Light.
Oh, wait,
gentleman-
I heard of this.
It
Is this
comes
the
in
guy
on
that...
what?
You hear about that?
They do on the Super Bowl. They do the horses and stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
That's these guys.
The Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What's it coming in at? What's that ABV?
I actually don't know. I think it's 4 something.
I'm pretty sure it's like a 1. It's pretty much tap water. It's colored tap
Coors.
water.
Yeah, that's definitely Coors. Been there.
Anyway,
All right, so
back to what we're doing.
I think it is time for my and your favorite section, Johnny Clash. It's time for a little R&R, a little ratings and reception.
All right, so Backstage Assault was widely criticized by critics and gamers. It felt like there was, lack of a ring, and it was just too gimmicky to be like a full game.
Like what we said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So they also noted that there were subpar graphics, which seemed bulky and crude compared to Mayhem, and that many of the game's more popular and recognizable characters needed to be unlocked.
I agree.
So the
100%.
unlocked roster was way bigger than the regular roster, and I just have to say, we said in the Mayhem episode how beautiful these character models were.
Great head scans.
Just
so
not even the
perfect.
head scans, just the way the bodies were, the way they moved. It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, so the entrances weren't great. But my main takeaway from that game was just you pick Canyon. It is Canyon's face on there.
As much as it
is.
could be on a PlayStation and an N64.
But you knew that it was Canyon.
Right.
Maybe the gear and the physique wasn't as spot on, but that face was HD for N64.
But then we get to Backstage Assault, and it's like you're playing with Bendums.
Well, let's talk about TPA playing as Hulk Hogan, and it looked like Van Hammer.
Yeah. Just
It was like a brown vest, like a brown cut-off
So,
Steve Austin vest.
I think no
brown
matter,
man.
just like I said with Rey Mysterio, you want the mask. I think no matter what, if Hulk Hogan's in a video game, you don't unlock the red and yellow. You are the red and yellow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. So I do kind of sort of understand the logic behind putting Hulk Hogan in kind of the Millionaires Club-ish gear. Because the game is Backstage Assault, He's not going to go, he's not...
Was
if
he a big
Hulk-
Okay.
vest guy though?
Huh?
Was he a big cut-off vest guy?
In 2000, if he wasn't wrestling, and sometimes when he was wrestling, that's
Stealing
what
the
he wore.
title and leaving.
I don't know. I just always feel like he was either in a cut-off tee or
Yeah,
no shirt. I don't
2000
ever remember him in a vest. An
2000 was
Austin
just
vest.
weird for
2000
everyone.
was weird. Ric Flair wrestled in a polo and pants for
That's true.
6 months.
Yeah.
So 2000 was a weird time period in general in WCW.
I just thought it was weird that the models were so great in Mayhem, and then they downgraded.
So-
With there's no ring, you don't have to generate a ring. You don't have to generate the Titantron and all the graphics. It's literally just the same backstages, a little bit bigger from Mayhem.
But this roster is bigger than Mayhem.
Okay, give me a less roster and give me better character models.
Okay, but you got to remember at the time.
Do I really need the Harris brothers? No.
Nobody
Hey,
does.
everyone needs a little DOA in their life.
No, they don't. In addition, the engine was very similar to Mayhem, almost identical, and the players felt that kind of hindered the game because they didn't really advance it.
Yeah,
at
well,
all.
that's what we
But-
said last week.
Right. But it featured a much more in-depth create a superstar than Mayhem.
Yes.
So I never used the creator wrestler mode.
Ever?
No.
Really? You never made a little CPA?
You don't make yourself?
Well, I wasn't.
You just break yourself?
I was
You were always CPA.
I was 13 when this game came out. Spoiler alert.
Oh, it's always the first thing I do.
Spoiler alert, I'm a little old, but no, yeah, I was I had never used it because I played this game probably 5 times.
Okay.
Because this came out around when like SmackDown 2 was coming out. I was like, I'm choosing my hill to die on.
Yeah.
Dying on SmackDown 2's hill.
Yeah, for you to say that, that's, yeah.
Not to be a dick, but...
Okay. So, GameSpot says EA's Backstage Assault is a novel idea, but in the end, it doesn't have enough variation to make it worthwhile. This one is only for the hardcore WCW fan. And like we said, CPA is a hardcore WCW fan.
So
and
are
he
you.
chose... Yeah, I mean, he's very much more than me, and he chose SmackDown.
Because SmackDown had a story mode.
Yeah.
I'm a big story mode guy.
IGN looks unforgivably awful, recycles the middling control system from WCW Mayhem, and builds itself around a gimmick that defeats the purpose of a wrestling game. It's not good, children. Not good at all.
Don't call me a child.
That's in
Seriously.
quotes. That's
How
in quotes. They
degrading
said
to
that.
call me a child. I host a video game podcast, sir or ma'am.
Backstage
I have an apartment, sir.
Backstage Assault is a thumb-tiring, momentum-building excursion sporting the thrills and skills of WCW action. And because it is no-holds-barred battle fest, you can use whatever whatever weapons are on hand, says GameZone.
Now, we played this game for a couple hours.
17 hours.
Way too long than we should have.
Oh yeah, we definitely started recording way later than we should have.
That Inferno match went on at least
It's midnight.
6 hours.
It's midnight on a Wednesday.
But
we have work.
Jesus Christ.
At any point, did you feel your thumbs getting tired?
Oh, no.
I did only because I never played video games. This is the first time I played video games in probably 3 years.
All right, well,
I do feel that when I play NHL after a while because you're like
That's all
going
sticks,
nuts.
though.
Yeah, but
Not tired,
with,
but
not with
just
this.
it's
like
deeks and you got to control your stick.
getting-
Like
I'm getting weird calluses that I didn't have before I got there.
the more you say that you haven't played games, the more I want you to come back so we can like make you like revisit games.
I mean, I'm down for that. I'll try not to cuss as much next time.
No, you're fine.
All right, should we get into the ratings?
Yes.
Let's get into the ratings, Clash. Take us through.
All right, EGM gives a 4 out of 10 on the PlayStation. Game Informer gives it a 3.5 out of 10 on the N64 and a 3 out of 10 on the PlayStation. So GamePro gives it a 3.5 out of... Wait, what? GamePro gives it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because we're not in the Tokyo Dome. They would have given it 6. GameSpot gives it a 5.1 out of 10 across the board for N64 and PS. Here we go. All right. All right, so we mentioned a few weeks ago, as we always say, there's always one company that gets paid for their rating.
Who's it this week?
I'm not pointing fingers, but GameZone gives Backstage Assault, WCW Backstage Assault, year 2000, vested Hulk Hogan.
Say it slowly and clearly so everyone
Hold on.
understands.
Let me preface this real quick. GameZone doesn't even have a Wikipedia. GameZone is the only one that's not hyperlinked.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's my favorite episode ever.
GameZone gives WCW Backstage Assault across the board for N64 and PlayStation a 9 out of 10. guys,
One more time.
a 9 out of 10.
So here's the problem with GameZone.
Wait, did GameZone? They came out with one issue, and it was for the.
If you Google
it was in October
GameZone,
2000. Yeah.
if you Google GameZone, there's multiple things that could possibly be the company that reviewed this game.
It's a very ambiguous name.
There's a place in New Jersey.
There's probably 6
There's a
podcasts
YouTube
called
channel.
GameZone,
There's
yeah.
a Facebook page. There's multiple outlets that could be GameZone because it is a very nondescript name.
Yeah, no. Okay, IGN gives it a 4 out of 10 on N64 and a 2 out of 10 on the PlayStation. For Mayhem, I believe people like the PlayStation version better. But it seems like N64 is taking this one.
I think control-wise.
Nintendo, I hated this control. Nintendo Power gives N64 a 6.2 out of 10. OPM gives the PlayStation a 2 out of 5 stars, and the PlayStation Magazine gives it a 6 out of 10. Now, Metacritic. We love Metacritic. 48 out of 100 for N64, and 40 out of 100 on the PlayStation.
Now, can I say something? Which is a breath of fresh air.
I guess you could speak.
There's no weird decimal points this week.
No, there's not.
It's nice. It's nice.
I mean,
we don't
there's
have
the
like a
5.1's
6.2.
weird.
Yeah, there's
No,
a 5.1 on GameSpot,
That's fine.
but it's usually
normally
like
we get like a
6.799 unrepeated.
6.279 repeating. Yeah. Like, why?
This is a little peek behind the curtain. And whatever Mark gives a beer, if I really like it, let's say Mark gives a beer 3.5 Shawn Michaels hair ties out of 5. I will give it 3.51 Mantar yells out of 5. Because I just have to always do that.
I think the most confusing thing about the Off the Hop Road podcast for me is that you guys will sit there and be like, I love this beer. This is the most amazing beer. I'll give it a 3.5. Like, Mark is notorious about it. He's like, I love this beer. It's very nice. I like the can. It's great. I love it. It's perfect. It's great. I'll give it we'll do 6.5 Finley hip tosses out of 5.
And then Troy just gives it stars.
Yeah. Well, that's Troy.
Cilantro.
It's lame.
Cilantro.
All right, so I think for the fast facts this week, I think CPA should read them.
Oh, absolutely.
This makes me sad.
This makes
Right, but anyway.
Wait, play some sad music as the intro for CPA.
All right, I'll find something.
Play the Walking Away end theme from the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, fast facts on WCW Backstage Assault.
it's not very fast right now.
The game only sold 200,000 copies.
all right, a little slower.
The game only sold 200,000 copies.
200,001.
Yeah, I just bought it.
Yeah,
I just bought it
there
a
you
couple
go.
days ago.
Yeah, WCW's coming back. John Moxley is going to be at Great American Bash of Death.
I can't wait to see John Moxley versus Buff Bagwell.
Yes, that would be great.
Go, bro.
Yeah, he's still in shape.
Friend of the pod.
Electronic Arts planned a true sequel. True, in quotes, sequel to Mayhem. At what point, titled Mayhem 2 in 2001, the game is said to have featured the AKI engine and was planned for release on the PlayStation 2 console, but production ended when March 26, 2001 happened. AKA when the WWF bought WCW.
I just want to say I don't have the date written in the notes. He just kind of put that in because he knows it.
Okay, I
The
knew
amount of
it.
knowledge that CPA has about wrestling blows my mind.
Unfortunately, I knew it, and then a kind of traumatic experience in my life happened on March 26, 2018. So, hey, the lines, third fast fact, third and final. The lines of commentary are mostly recycled. Which I know because Tony Schiavone in Mayhem says spinning back kick, which I don't know what that is. So, the lines of commentary are mostly recycled from WCW Mayhem, with a handful of new lines to fit accordingly with the game's unique setting and location.
And that's all of our fast facts this week.
I love this episode so much. It's amazing.
All right.
We're not topping this. We have peaked. This should have been the last episode that we did for the year because it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, it's all downhill. We're going to get a bad Apple review that's like, you guys didn't talk about the game enough. We need more bullet points about the game.
What do you want to say about the game?
How's the engine of the game?
Tell me.
I need to know rumors and release dates about the game was supposed to come out about Christmas time when it was supposed to be in 2004.
Tell me more, Johnny 69 X420. What else do you want to hear
my Xbox All right, so it's time for our ratings, the most important ratings. Guys, would you play this forever? Woo! Or would you future endeavor?
You're fired!
Should Nick go first?
I think...
Or should Nick go last?
I think you should go last.
Okay, you go first.
All right, so... Love Mayhem. Probably my favorite wrestling game of all time. I know people are going to hate me. Oh, Fire Pro Wrestling's the best game.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Don't start with that again.
Future endeavor. Goodbye.
You're fired!
All right.
Georgie?
So, I mean, I had a match against CPA. I had my match for Clash at the Feast. Played a little bit solo. And I honestly feel like most of the fun in this game was playing with you guys. Like, I feel like just playing through solo. I mean, we've mentioned it a couple of times before. Like, what makes a game fun? Is it the actual game itself, or is it the fact that you're able to play it with like friends and it becomes like a...
No, it still sucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm definitely going to choose to play Mayhem over this, and I will future endeavor Backstage Assault.
You're fired!
Well, since it's not a popularity contest, I
hang on. I picture this whole rating as, like, you know WCW Thunder when you go over the character and it says, like, their little promo? This is yours. This is yours right now.
Since it's not a popularity contest, I enjoyed playing this game. It's a little repetitive. I don't enjoy the fact that you don't have a ring to use because generally wrestling games have rings because wrestling involves a ring.
You don't say.
What a concept.
That being said, I played the hardcore challenge thing on easy, so maybe that explains why it was so easy. It's very easy. It's unreal easy. The computer is basically a 1-year-old child trying to play video games for the first time.
Playing video games.
It's Top Shelf Troy Nelson trying to review a beer, and Max Smashmaster standing next to him saying, "You're an idiot."
Oh, that's gonna smell really bad.
It's me sitting next to Johnny Clash as he lifts his leg, and I'm like, "Why is he lifting his leg?" And he lets out a fart, and I'm like, "Whoa! I wasn't expecting that."
Clash is still out of his chair.
Clash is on the floor dying right now.
I've said it before several times. This is the best episode of this podcast we have recorded ever.
Pod forever. That being said, yes, I'm a WCW romanticizer. I love WCW. I love, especially the later days. The laters are great. I would still play this forever.
Oh, woo! All right, so
it's borderline, but once you unlock all the characters, I feel like it probably gets more fun.
I feel like if they had this same game mode, like if this was the same exact game, but it had the Mayhem graphics, this is like...
It would still get boring, I think.
I don't know, but I feel like a lot of the issues that I had with it were graphically and the fact that we played 99% of the matches in tiny person mode.
Okay, so did we really get into that though? How much more fun it is.
It's 12:15, so you tell me how did we really get into it?
It's fun. You get to play as tiny Hulk Hogan, where he picks up this. So picture in No Mercy when you reach into the crowd and you pull out the Rock's book, how big that thing was.
Everything is
but
that
like
big.
times 10.
Like you pick up a fluorescent light tube and it is like 12 feet long.
It's literally like 20 feet long.
CZ Dub.
Yeah.
All right. So we have done the game review. We have done the ratings and receptions. We have done the fast facts. Think we have hit a point where we talk about
Clash at the Feast.
Oh. I was a first-hand observer of this edition of Clash at the Feast, and let me tell you,
this was the dance.
These guys went in.
This was the dance.
This was our Broadway.
Bro, they went like 17 minutes.
Not even kidding.
I'm not even exaggerating.
All right, so
I sent the videos to Clash. You can see them on Instagram.
So we let CPA pick who we were. George got Booker T.
Booker T.
Luckily, he got Booker T. I got Big Vito, who was not in a dress.
Hey. Tokyo Dome.
Nothing wrong.
Tokyo Dome.
5-star match.
So we played in the bathroom. Just that sentence.
Did we ever?
Right in my room.
Still in tiny mode, by the way. I would say back and forth, but it was really just George picking me up and giving me the
110 degree slam.
over and
The
over
running
again.
drop kick over and over.
Oh,
again.
running drop kick. I would try for the running chop block. It would only work half the time I pressed the
Yeah.
buttons.
Well, the problem with the running chop block is that you would hit it from like 40 feet away.
Even though we were in tiny mode, we weren't like actually in tiny
The
mode.
character models still
Yeah.
register as big models.
Yeah, so we actually did go 17 minutes. No matter how many bookends he hit me with, I would still kick out at one.
Literally like
And I would get right
14 or
up.
15 bookends.
I would get right back up and just
You
chop
know
block
why?
him again.
I needed the axe kick. If I hit
You
with
needed the axe kick, yeah.
Yeah. Or the Harlem Hangover off of a truck bed.
I was saying, what
Ooh.
am I going to do? There's no turnbuckles.
Off the truck.
No, you had aerial opportunity.
Aerial opportunity.
As it flashed on the screen when you were near something you could climb, aerial opportunity. And you'd be looking around like, wait, what? What can I jump on?
That's Will Ospreay's new gimmick, right? He's the aerial opportunity.
Yes, exactly. That's what he told me. Yeah. So I kept kicking out at one from whatever George would hit me with.
Everything.
Everything, literally one.
Unreal.
But for some reason, I would hit him with the chop block, and I would get a 2 count.
Falsy.
Falsy, bro.
Hot falsy.
Falsy, bro. But in the end,
CPA, why don't you take us through this finish?
That's not my story to tell you guys. It was
he was
so
looking at-
unreal. No.
all right. So finally, I'll say it again because I've been saying it a lot. George got the win. Let's just play his music.
Oh.
I mean, I tweeted out today that I'm just really good at video games.
Make sure you actually tweet it out today.
He did.
No,
he
I did before we recorded the
Oh,
pod.
okay.
I don't want to throw matches for the sake of the Clash at the Feast ranking.
No, but you're up 11-5 right now.
I just
I've won 5 games in the existence of this podcast.
John, you have like another 200 weeks roughly.
that's
All right,
true.
yeah,
You'll be
exactly.
okay.
That's you're
All right,
very.
You'll have
exactly.
ebbs and flows.
Can you imagine, like
What the
3 years
record
from
is gonna
now?
be?
3 years from now, we're sitting and recording the podcast exact same. Nick is now on his
Creative Pro
45th
is like
appearance.
situated at the back of Madison Square Garden or something like that.
CPA is here for his 50th appearance,
Probably.
and we are now at like 256 to 5.
Honestly, probably. But I'm going to say this. If you really want the title of winning in Backstage Assault, you could have it.
You know what? I will take my janky, pixelated, tiny model title.
Loser's attitude.
So, CPA, do you want to tell everybody what we are doing next week on the podcast?
Next week on the podcast, the boys are going to be playing Hammerlock Wrestling for Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. Give me that hammerlock. Maybe I'll, maybe it'll be,
Reverse it into another Hammerlock.
maybe it'll be 11
Rest hole.
11-6.
Hey, you never know.
But probably not.
But, hey,
I have faith in you.
that is going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. Please do not forget to follow us on all forms of social media. We are so close to that 200 mark on Twitter. We are available on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Please leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. Let us know what you like or didn't like or like to see or hear more about in future episodes. And subscribe to us on wherever great podcasts can be found. So, with that said, say goodnight, Johnny.
Game over, Marks.